What's going on, YouTube family? Today we're going to be talking about one of the biggest sales flops in automotive history, the Dodge Charger Daytona EV. So in this video, we're going to talk about why is it failing, what is Dodge doing to kind of rectify this problem. On top of that, what are the customers saying about it, and how this is going to lead to a lot of companies changing the way they do business. So I don't talk about it a lot on my channel, but I actually grew up in a Mopar household. My dad's favorite car is a 1971 Dodge Challenger, plum crazy purple with the shaker hood. Now, I remember when I was a kid, he used to take me to car shows, hot rod tours, all kinds of swap meets just to talk about these Mopar things. And this is where the love of my cars actually started. I love going around to some of these drag strips and swap meets and hearing the stories from some of these old guys taking this Hemi platform and doing absolutely crazy things with them. Everybody was obsessed with the sound, the horsepower, and everything else. And I think that's what made Mopar people, is they love the sound, they love the horsepower, and they love the fact that you could bolt on a few accessories to some of these Hemis and bring out even more horsepower. Now, we fast forward to today. This is one of the main reasons why I think that this EV charger failed, is because nobody asked for it. The only reason Dodge did this is to make the government happy, because remember this EV mandate. We had to get all these new cars out there, so they figured the future would be this one. So even with all of its impressive numbers, 670 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds, it lacks the soul that Mopar people want. Now, if you think about it, if I tell you who's a Mopar guy, you're going to think of some guy that has a scat pack that's doing donuts in the middle of a parking lot and all at the drag strip every weekend showing off his car. Now, even though those models were old and not a lot has changed, they still outsold the brand new Dodge Charger EV. Now, for the first quarter alone, they sold less than 2,000 units. That's including the United States and Canada. They sold more older units, which are like the 2022, 2023, and 2024 older models. They sold more of those this year, first quarter, than all of the brand new Dodge Charger EVs. That is a very, very scary number. Now, when you see this big of a sales flop, how does Dodge react? Well, it was really quick and it was swift. They flat out said they're not going to be pumping them out anymore. I guarantee you're going to see these things on fire sale here soon. So if you paid over MSRP for one of these things, I feel bad for you. Wait, because I'm sure there's more deals if you are interested in getting that. But one of the cool things I heard was how fast they reacted to the news that nobody wanted this car. And now that the new president basically walked back the EV mandate, V8s are coming back. I don't know if it's going to be next year or the year after that, but there will be a Dodge Charger two-door V8 coming, which is going to be awesome. I think that's going to bring a lot of people back to the platform. People are going to get excited because if you think about it, what are the two most popular selling cars for Dodge? It's the Charger and it's the actual Challenger. That's it. Nobody else wants the Dodge Hornet, whatever the hell that thing is called. You know, everybody wants those two cars. And what happened? They killed both of those cars at one time, replacing them with a complete sales flop. Now, another reason why I think this is such a big deal is because this is on the actual cusp of Stellantis getting really close to having major issues. Nobody's buying the Dodge trucks because they're 30% overpriced. Nobody's buying the Jeeps because they're absolutely ridiculous. And this is the first time in history I've actually had to say that the resale on Jeeps is bad. I remember buying a 91 Jeep Wrangler and turning around and flipping it and making money, and those things just held their value. They didn't go down. Everybody loved the Jeep Wrangler. It was just such a great car. But these new ones are horrific, but I won't get into that too much. Like I said, this is a Dodge Daytona EV Charger video. Now, after actually looking at the car, I saw one at SEMA, and it kind of surprised me because I figured a lot more people would want to know about it and talk about it. Nobody cared. I mean, the fanfare for the new EV Charger was horrific. I remember they invited, I think it was me and a handful of other YouTubers to come to some of these drive-abouts. I didn't go. I think a lot of my friends didn't go. Like, nobody was excited about this EV Charger, which was really, really bad. And even when I saw one in person, I actually liked the body. I think bringing back the retro two-door is something on the right track, but not giving it an ICE engine as an option at least was a horrific mistake. And the fact that they're charging $80,000 for the Scat Pack, whatever model. I don't know, there's too many in Dodge I can't even keep up with. But the fact that you're gonna have to pay over $80,000 to upwards of $90,000 for a car that can get smoked by a Model 3 Performance from Tesla. You know, or even, what is it, the Hyundai, shoot. It's the end model. It's the race model of the Hyundais. I think it's the EV6. But, you know, both of those cars, half the price, but could still smoke this car. So who is the buyer for this EV? Now, traditionally, everyone's going to say that, oh, Mopar guys are boomers and stuff like that, but there are a lot of younger people that love these cars and that grew up with them just like I did with my father, and that are also fans. So I thought about it. Okay, if I'm a younger guy that wants an EV, what am I going to get? certainly not going to be a Dodge Charger. Like nobody's in the tech world is even talking about it. They don't have anything new. And what is it, the Fantastic or Fantrasic sound? I can't remember the name of it. They absolutely laugh. They're making horrific jokes. There's supposedly a thing out there where you could tune this by plugging it in to make it sound like you're farting every time you take off in a car. Now that may be one reason why I'd buy the Dodge Charger EV, just so I can rip ass the whole way down the street, which I think would be hilarious. But after seeing that and people complaining about, oh, even though it has, almost 700 or 600 horsepower, the thing weighs 5,000 pounds. It's not light. And so now you got this lead sled. It doesn't weigh it weighs too much. There's probably gonna be burn up tires like crazy. And that was another thing. I remember my friend telling me that the reason why he decided not to buy one of these, because he likes to buy every Dodge Charger and Challenger model and keep them in a museum, is because you can't do burnouts with it. Even though I guess it has a mode where you could switch it off and turn it into drift mode, the 300 horsepower motor is not enough to spin the back wheels to do a burnout. He goes, what's the point of buying a Charger if you can't do a burnout? And I kind of laughed and I thought about it and I was like, if you look up anywhere on YouTube, every video of a Dodge Charger or Challenger is doing some sort of burnout or drag race. And you couldn't even do that with that thing, which is kind of embarrassing because, you're spending all this money and not getting any of the fun. Now, one of the main reasons why I made this video is because, unfortunately, the actual resale value is horrific. So one of my dad's friends actually bought one of these Daytona EVs, and, after driving it around, he doesn't like it. It gives him range anxiety so much. He'll fully charge it, it'll say I have 200 miles, and as soon as he leaves the driveway, he says it's got about 150 miles. After driving, because Vegas is hot, turns on the AC, maybe listens to music, he drops back down to 100. So he does not trust the car at all. He's so afraid that he's gonna get stuck somewhere, and there's nothing he can absolutely do. And this is something, like I said, it's plaguing EVs. Range anxiety is something real, and it's never going to change. Now, he wanted to trade it in, so he went back to the dealership that was on Sahara. I won't say the name of it, but tried to trade it back in, thinking, okay, I'm going to lose $10,000, maybe $15,000. Now, he paid, I think it was a little bit above $86,000 for this car. They offered him for trade-in $44,000. Less than a year old with, I think, maybe 2,800 miles on it. So let that sink in. Less than a year old, dealerships only want to give him 50% of what it's trading in. And when he went there, he saw that there was tons of Chargers that he was looking at were still there. So that let him know that he made a massive mistake. And so after my dad called me and said, hey, my friend's kind of stuck in this car, is there anything you can do with them? And after I did the research looking online, there's not a lot of cars. Like even when I put in some of the VIN numbers just for fun to like Carvana, GiveMeTheVIN.com and CarMax to see, none of them gave me an option to buy back. They just said, well, bring the car in and we'll take a look at it. So that's a very scary thing because usually most cars, once we plug a VIN number in, even if it's a Lamborghini or Ferrari, they will spit out some random number that somewhat makes sense to them. So the fact that they can't put a dollar amount because they're so afraid of the falling prices, it's going to be crazy. So, buying them brand new is scary. Buying them second-handed is even worse because, like I said, you do not know what the actual retail value of that vehicle is going to be in the next 12 to 18 months. I think this is going to be another one that's going to lose a massive hit. Depreciation, you're probably going to lose anywhere from 25 or, like my dad's friend, up to 50%. So I think that 50% was a little bit of a low ball. So I'm sure if you go in other places, you'll probably get more. But this is the trend that we're seeing. Now, the good thing is like I said, Dodge is really quickly turning ship. They're saying, you know what? Nobody wanted this thing. The EV mandates roll back. Let's go ahead and bring out the V8 Chargers. Now, a buddy of mine, TK's Garage, if you want to look at his channel, I'll leave a link in the description below. He talks all about the new things that are coming out with Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Stellantis, everything else like that. And I think that them making such a fast turnabout will show some sort of, I guess, credit to the customers' demands and what they want. But I think that Stellantis is in for a really rough 2 years because, like I said, sales is absolutely plummeted. You can go to any dealership in the United States and walk in and pick any truck you want because they have over 90-day supply of trucks, which is crazy. And I think their cheapest truck now is like $65,000, like a work truck, which is ridiculous. Like a truck is supposed to be something where if you work in construction or you want to have a secondary vehicle to pick up some stuff is supposed to be a little bit more affordable. But now they treat trucks like luxury vehicles, as well as like this new Daytona EV. It's not a luxury vehicle, but they sure charge you 80 grand for one. But anyways, let me know in the comment section, what do you think of the new Dodge Daytona Charger EV? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What are some of the things you like about it? What are some of the things you hate about it? Also, did you purchase one? Let me know. If you can go to your local dealership and ask them, say, hey, I want to trade this thing in. Let me know in the comment section what they give you for a sales price. So I hope that Dodge does keep their word and brings back the V8 Charger. I think that'll be definitely a big thing. But some of these EVs, like I said, I feel really bad for a lot of you guys that bought them like over sticker. So if you're patient, just wait. If you're thinking about buying one and you like them, like I said, my opinion doesn't matter. Just when it comes to sales, wait a little bit of time. I'm sure there's going to be massive discounts on these. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next video.